and should be restored. The Diagnodent has a high degree of sensitivity. False positives are rare and only result from failure to completely remove stain or debris. Teeth with readings of 30 or more will be decayed even if visual or radiographic evidence is lacking. Diagnodent dramatically increases our ability to find and treat hidden caries. Diagnodent will detect 90% of all hidden caries. The remaining 10% are so small and so hidden that no existing protocol can find them. Accurate charting is essential to document the location of peak readings. This is especially important when monitoring suspect areas. Here's a chart used in our office. Diagnodent readings are recorded on the following example of occlusal surface diagram to indicate hidden decay or establish initial data in pit and fissures for future references. You can see that on tooth number 3, the patient had a reading of 18 in the distal pit, and that tooth number 18 has a 29 score in the central pit. The patient was placed on and followed a remineralization protocol. The same patient a year later shows tooth number 3 with an 11 score in the distal pit, and tooth number 18, a 27 score. There are many clinical advantages to using the Diagnodent. Know when to treat and when to monitor. The Diagnodent is over 90% accurate in diagnosing caries and pits and fissures, the most common location for decay. There are virtually no false positives. When the Diagnodent indicates a peak reading of 30 or greater, you can be confident that there will be decay in that tooth. Evidence-based dentistry. Peak numerical values can be compared over time to see if low-scored areas are getting worse. Mapping the direction of decay. Often a lesion will take a lateral path which can be detected and followed in the restorative treatment, thus avoiding excessive loss of valuable tooth structure. Caries excavation. In conservative preparations where the access allows the tip to reach the floor of the cavity, Diagnodent readings will determine if decay is still present. In deep cavity preparations, elevated values may be obtained from the fluorescence of the pulp. In these situations, other methods, such as cavity detection dyes, should be considered. Sealant success. Ensuring that all tooth surfaces are clean and sound before placing a sealant assures that the bonding agent will adhere to enamel. There is also assurance that no caries are present before sealants are placed. Evaluate the success of preventative measures. Successive records will monitor the patient's response to home care, fluoride, and dietary measures. Patient acceptance of treatment. The patient will be motivated to accept treatment plans when they have experienced the Diagnodent examination. The practice is perceived as high-tech on the cutting edge of diagnosis. Promotes minimally invasive dentistry, while advancing a friendlier practice atmosphere by allowing kinder restorative or remineralization options. Includes the hygienist in a confirming role and builds a better preventative approach. The return on investment is fantastic. Based on a national average cost of $130 for a one-surface composite filling, Diagnodent will pay for itself by finding just 27 new hidden cavities. In most full-time practices, that's less than a month. Early detection promotes minimally invasive dentistry. The patient is an active participant in the diagnostic process, making it easier to understand and accept treatment. Conserves tooth structure with smaller, stronger restorations. We live longer, so we need to keep our teeth longer. With the advent of this superior diagnostic aid, the standard of care can no longer tolerate the "let's watch that area" attitude. We can elect to record and monitor or treat, but the option of watching a suspicious area progress into a large radiographic restorative problem can no longer be considered good dentistry. I've used the Diagnodent for over 4.5 years in my practice. In fact, we now have 2 units, one in each of the hygiene rooms. The Diagnodent will be an effective tool only if you use it. If you don't incorporate it, you are really missing an important element in the health and well-being of your patients. Times of nutrition are changing. Decay is very prevalent, and the need to establish a forefront approach is critical. Seeing is believing. Teeth we once watched are now quantitatively measured with assurance. Diagnodent takes the guesswork out of what is really decay and what is stain. The pursuit of excellence takes many paths. In dentistry, our path is clear: to offer our patients the very best in our training, skills, and sincere efforts on their behalf can produce. The Diagnodent takes us one very large step on that path. Your patients and I thank you.
That's it?
We all have our patients' best interest in mind. However, third-party considerations must be addressed.
Right.
There exists an unfortunate lag time between progress in patient care and the insurance industry's acceptance. The Diagnodent can provide better care for the patient at reduced cost to the insurer by detecting and treating caries
trying to
at
sell
the
us this
earliest
product.
possible stage.
And they're doing a terrible job.
Before it becomes a big problem. It appears
Right.
to be a win-win
Cut to the
situation.
chase.
The insurance industry's response to the Diagnodent has been mostly positive. However, it remains incumbent upon the dentist to substantiate treatment decisions. Arguing the economy of prevention is an exercise in frustration. The dental office has faced the dilemma of providing the very best treatment that our knowledge and skills allow, and at the same time, assure our patients receive maximum, or at least a fair return on their healthcare insurance investment. There are precious few, if any, third-party providers willing to pay for sealant treatment. They may deny a claim for composite fillings that extend to or just below the DEJ if the lesion does not show on an x-ray. And yet, we have seen that caries may extend deeply into the dentin before any radiographic signs appear, and may well be 2 to 3 times deeper than they appear. Until there is a uniform consensus on when and how to treat a lesion, the Diagnodent will remain a tool to support clinical judgment and will not serve as an unequivocal basis for diagnosis or to prove the need for treatment. There is no easy, surefire solution to this problem. There are, however, a number of effective and ethical avenues that every prudent dentist can and should routinely pursue. We recommend you do the following. Keep excellent records. This is a must. This is all part of the third-party consideration. Record and monitor Diagnodent peak readings. Quantify the disease. Record an image for the patient record, especially the prepared cavity, and get and use a digital camera. Offer written descriptives of the procedures and communicate with your patient. Most have dealt with their insurers and recognize the problem. There is no specific code for performing a dental examination with the Diagnodent. Most dentists consider Diagnodent in the context of a comprehensive examination. Don't be afraid, however, to inform your patient of the added service provided, whether or not it is included in the exam fee. Providing the best possible care to our patient is our goal. Ultimately, candid communication between you, your patient, and third parties regarding revolutionary technologies like the Diagnodent will go a long way to help all of us improve acceptance of the tools we need to properly conduct our practice.
Hi, I'm Karen Kaiser. Today, the hygienist plays an ever-increasing role in patient care. As a practice facilitator, a patient educator, and increasingly a diagnostic adjunct, the hygienist finds him or herself spending more time with the patient, educating, consulting, and presenting new and improved treatments. With the introduction of the Diagnodent, the hygienist is empowered to enhance the education of the patient, production, performance, and image of the practice, and to increase our own prestige and value. The Diagnodent brings a new level of diagnostic sophistication to the practice. After a short learning curve, the dentist, and in our office, the hygienist, can perform a full mouth laser examination in minutes. In our office, I use the Diagnodent Classic. The instrument is very lightweight and portable. I prefer to have it placed so that the display is in the patient's line of sight. And in fact, some practitioners have the patient hold the unit after a quick explanation of the values. Once the patient understands the procedure, the visual readout and audio signal makes the patient an active participant in his or her own examination process. I also have colleagues who use the Diagnodent pen in their offices. They explain the procedure and values to the patient, and when the tone alerts them to a higher reading, the hygienist and patient look at the peak values on the screen together. Once again, having the patient actively participating in his or her own examination process. Meanwhile, here's how I explain the operation and benefits of the Diagnodent to our patients.
Okay, Mike, today what we're going to do for you is we're going to use our new laser diagnostic device. It's called a Diagnodent. And what we're going to use is we're going to take this device and go through each one of your grooves and your pits and your fissures in your mouth. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for some hidden decay. And if there's any areas that I'm concerned about from the unit's emission of the audible sound, that you can also watch. If there's any problems with that, I'll go ahead and I will tell my doctor about it today.
First, teeth are thoroughly cleaned to remove all organic debris, which may interfere with the laser illumination. Patients who are prone to heavy staining, such as smokers and coffee drinkers, should have all pits and grooves treated with an air polisher, such as the ProfiFlex 3. Then rinse thoroughly. This will ensure complete cleaning in the depths of the grooves and assure consistent readings. Although topical fluoride preparations do not usually affect the accuracy of the Diagnodent, it is difficult to predict how some products may behave when illuminated by the Diagnodent. The Diagnodent Classic comes with 4 A-tips used for pit and fissure areas. A flat B-tip is available for smooth surfaces. The Diagnodent pen comes with 4 occlusal tips for pit and fissure areas. The Diagnodent must be calibrated before each patient with the desired tip in place. For the Diagnodent Classic, hold the tip in the air, press the cal button, and release. When the tone starts, gently place the probe tip on the center of the calibration disc. When the audible tone stops, the calibration sequence is complete and the unit is ready to use. For the Diagnodent pen, hold the tip in the air and press the menu button, immediately followed by the enter button. When the tone starts, gently place the probe tip on the center of the calibration disc. When the audible tone stops, the calibration sequence is complete and the unit is ready to use. Establish a zero baseline for each patient. Because people have different levels of naturally occurring fluorescence in their healthy teeth, a baseline must be set for each patient. This is particularly important when suspect tooth sites are re-examined at various time intervals. Prior to scanning tooth surfaces, select one anatomical reference point on a tooth surface which is apparently healthy. The middle third facial surface of a non-restored tooth is ideal. Once the baseline is established, it will stay saved for that patient even if the unit automatically turns off. The anatomical location where the baseline is established should be documented in the patient's dental record for future reference. It makes sense to use the same baseline location for each patient. If that location cannot be used on that particular patient, then the deviation should be recorded in the chart. Scan the tooth surfaces with a light contact while monitoring the audible signal. Listen for an increase in tone pitch, which alerts you to observe the display to pinpoint the exact site on the tooth surface that corresponds to the elevated values. In fissure areas, the tip should be slowly rocked in a pendulous motion to carefully gather data from each pit and groove at various angles. Do not apply too much pressure on the delicate laser tip, but do make contact with the tooth structure. 2 values are indicated on the Diagnodent: moment and peak. The moment display indicates the real-time value the probe is measuring. This value changes as the probe tip moves. The peak display captures the maximum value measured in a sequence. Significant peak values and their respective locations should be recorded in the patient's chart to compare with future exams and to verify actions to third-party carriers. Research indicates the following correlation to caries: 0 to 10, no active carious lesions; 11 to 20, outer half enamel caries; 21 to 30. Inner half enamel caries. 30 and above, dentin caries. Peak readings are reset to 0 with a simple squeeze of the rubber ring on the handpiece to prepare for examination of the next area. Clinical research studies show these findings to be accurate, detecting over 90% of all hidden decay. However, some decay may be too small or too deep for even the Diagnodent to detect. With Diagnodent, a trained hygienist can perform accurate pre-diagnostic screenings quickly and with confidence. Diagnodent allows the hygienist to educate the patient in the latest technology, demonstrate proficiency, and provide crucial and highly accurate information to the dentist. Dr. Blaze, while I was scanning the teeth today, up on number 3, I had an elevated reading, and I'd like to know if you could examine that for him today.
Okay, we'll do. Let's take a look at that, Ken, and see what we got. Oh my goodness, that's quite an elevated reading on that tooth, Ken. We really need to do something about that one.
Diagnodent provides accurate, objective, quantifiable data. You'll feel good knowing you're providing the best possible care for your patients. I hope this short introduction helps you understand the full potential of Diagnodent. It has truly changed our practice for the better, and I'm sure Diagnodent will be a welcome addition to your office too.
She's a hygienist.
Right.
You can tell.
Why didn't you just do it over with?
Yeah.
Congrats on dentist.
In the past, your dentist checked your teeth for cavities with probes, x-rays, and a visual examination. But even the best dentists in the world miss nearly 30% of their patients' existing cavities. Why? Because those hidden cavities simply couldn't be detected. So they grew until they got big enough to be seen, or until you felt pain. But what if your dentist could catch more than 90% of all existing cavities accurately, painlessly, and in just a few minutes? The new Diagnodent has revolutionized modern dentistry by enabling doctors to find even tiny amounts of tooth decay with harmless laser light. Decay that until now has been lurking undetected in your mouth. But why did so many cavities go undetected? First, let's find out how decay works. Fluoride in our water has made tooth enamel harder, and that stops many cavities from forming. So most decay now occurs in the only vulnerable spot left, the grooves and pits on top of the teeth. Visual examination may reveal dark spots, but the dentist can't be sure if it's decay or harmless discoloration. Probes are too wide to get deep into the narrow pits and grooves to feel soft spots where decay may be spreading. And x-rays show large deposits of decay, but miss small spots. Remember, small cavities will grow into large cavities before the x-ray finds them. But now a new tool called the Diagnodent can find more than 90% of all cavities. Diagnodent can even tell the dentist if a dark spot is decay or not. The process is simple. Diagnodent uses harmless laser light to detect change in tooth structure by measuring the reflected laser light. These measurements are extremely accurate and so easy to understand that you can actually follow along with your Diagnodent examination and know what's happening in your mouth. The amount of reflected light, or fluorescence, is shown on a simple display. An audio signal allows you to hear changes in the numeric value. The higher the pitch, the higher the number. A higher number means Diagnodent has detected changes in tooth structure, changes that most likely mean decay. Laser fluorescence is so sensitive, it catches cavities at the earliest possible stage. Using the newest tools and techniques of microdentistry, dentists then remove the smallest possible amount of tooth structure with minimal or no discomfort. Diagnodent is completely safe with no x-ray exposure. It's completely painless. And Diagnodent is so fast, it can check every tooth in just minutes and will accurately detect hidden decay your dentist simply can't find any other way. So what does that mean for you? Diagnodent allows your doctor to find tiny bits of decay, therefore preserving more of your healthy tooth structure. These tiny decay spots can be repaired quickly and easily, sometimes without a return visit. That saves you time and preserves your tooth structure for years to come. And repairing a small cavity costs less and is less painful than repairing a large cavity. That saves you money and discomfort. Plus, your dentist has a clear and accurate measurement of your tooth surface with Diagnodent, so you have a more complete dental history. Ask your dentist for a Diagnodent examination today. You'll be impressed by Diagnodent's speed and accuracy, and you'll know that your dentist is taking advantage of the most revolutionary new technology available. A technology that saves you time, money, and discomfort. Now you can look forward to your dental visit. Thanks to Diagnodent.
What is it?
Oh yeah, you got the number.
30 plus.
Your
Wait, what's-
selection
what-
of the
what?
Cavo Diagnodent is one of
30
the
or more
wisest
that's
purchases your practice will
Right.
ever make. We ask that you take a few moments to watch as we demonstrate the correct setup and assembly of the unit in order to ensure the maximum
They keep saying the same stuff though.
It is the same information.
It's the same information.
Setting up the pen.
They're trying to sell
Unseal
it.
the box and remove all
That's what I'm saying. It's like a long infomercial.
Right, right. That's what it is.
Well, it's something you don't want.
Remove the base unit, spare grip sleeve, tip cassette, and battery. Making sure there is no tip in place, remove the grip sleeve by grasping the rear of the pen with one hand while grasping the front of the grip sleeve with the other hand. Gently pull in opposite directions to remove the sleeve. Insert the single AA battery into the base unit, noting polarity alignment as illustrated in the battery compartment. This is easily remembered by placing the negative side of the battery
Really?
What?
Nobody
low
ever
battery
heard the battery
is
before.
here when the battery power reaches approximately 20%. This means it's time to change the battery in your Diagnodent pen. Once the battery is inserted, place the grip sleeve over the base unit and slide it into place, making sure the sleeve tab fits into the slot on the base unit. Select a tip. Firmly push the metal end of the tip into the tip opening until it snaps into place. To remove or change the tip, gently pull until it disengages.
It's not even pretty now.
Once again, the laser tip must be removed prior to removing the grip sleeve from the unit. Turn on the unit by pushing the start button until a beep is heard. About 1 second. The Diagnodent pen automatically switches off when not in use after approximately 90 seconds. The user can also switch the unit off by depressing the start button for approximately 5 seconds.
Oh gosh, really?
Really?
Let's do it together.
No, I don't want to look.
Oh wait, we got test screens?
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Wait,
Pause
you got
that one.
test?
How do I
About
do
to
that?
ruin my
Do I
evening.
just stop it? Hello?
Barely made it. Oh god.
What'd you get, Mira?
Got